And I remember I was with my vocal coach, and all of the other vocal coaches were like getting their contestants pumped up and getting them ready to go. And my vocal coach was playing Angry Birds while I was stressing out over there, getting ready for my blind auditions. What's up, everybody? This is Brian, and this is the story time about how I got on NBC's The Voice. So I had heard about The Voice. Obviously, it came out and it was a huge hit. It was something that I watched every now and then. I would watch it with my family, and of course, like any singer, you know, in your heart, you know, you think that it would be an amazing opportunity to be on a show like that. When I was in college, I had a guy named Anthony Evans come to my school, and Anthony Evans was a gospel singer who had been on The Voice. But what happened was after he was on The Voice, he became a recruiter for The Voice. So he came to my school, he was singing, and we met somehow, and he said, hey, you should audition for The Voice. So he hooked me up with the people. I had the opportunity to go and do an audition in Nashville, Tennessee, and I did the audition, and I didn't make it. Aww. And so I was a little bit bummed, but I was like, okay, maybe it just wasn't the right time for me. This wasn't my opportunity. And so over the next 2 or 3 years, I just went about continuing to be an artist, writing music, recording music. I was in college as well. And then when I graduated from college, I immediately started traveling, recorded an album. And when I recorded the album in 2017 and released it, a few weeks later, I got an email from The Voice, and they said, hey, we would love for you to come and audition and do an audition, a private audition in Oklahoma City. I was trying to figure out what song should I sing. I felt like one of the mistakes that I made in my first audition was that I chose songs that I felt like the judges would like, and that weren't specifically me. And so I really wanted to just be me and choose songs that were really near and dear to my heart. So in choosing my songs, one of my sisters, Prosper, she had seen me do a performance on the internet of Happy, and she was like, you really need to sing that song. That version is really good. And at first I was like, no, absolutely not. Why would I sing Happy for a blind audition? That for a voice audition? I don't feel like that's good. That would go over well. Ultimately, I chose to sing Happy, and I sang it, and it went really well. And so after the first audition in Oklahoma City, I had to wait a couple weeks to find out my fate. Was I gonna move on to the next round of auditions, or was I done? And so I remember one day I was at home and I got a call from the Voice casting department, and they said, hey Brian, we loved your audition and we would like for you to come and do an executive audition in Los Angeles, California. Yeah, so it was awesome. I remember I didn't really know that it felt unreal, but it felt really real whenever I got like the flight itinerary and got all my flights and everything from the casting department. And then it felt really, really real when I was sitting on the plane, getting ready to go to Los Angeles to do an executive audition. So I got to Los Angeles, and they picked us up from the airport, took us out to Burbank, and we were all sequestered in a hotel, a Marriott hotel in Burbank. And there was I want to say that there was 150 people, 50 of us in the process. And so the process actually took 2 weeks. We were out in LA for 2 weeks because there were so many people, and we would go through the process of getting ready for our auditions. We would do interviews, and then ultimately we would audition for the executive producers of the show. And I remember the next day, we were all gonna find out what happened. And so there were 2 rooms that they would take you into. They would take you into the yes room, they would take you into the no room, and you would know which room was a yes or no. So we gathered, and I remember I was trying to look, I bet that person can sing, so maybe I'm in the right room. But anyways, so we were in the room. I was in the room with about 70 people, and they told us that we were moving on to the blind audition. And so they sent us home for a couple weeks, and then we came back, and we were in the blind audition preparation process for like a month. It was a very long time because, you know, throughout this time on a daily basis, we will be going to interviews, we will be going to wardrobe, we will be going to our vocal lessons, then we will be rehearsing. And so we would do that every day, getting ready for our ultimate blind audition process. So that process lasted a month. I remember we were just living in a hotel. We couldn't go anywhere except across the street to get food at the different restaurants that they had across the street. I'm not gonna lie, every now and then we would sneak out and go to the mall or something like that. But anyways, that's a different story for another day. But so ultimately, my roommate was a guy named Brian Bautista. He was awesome. I didn't know at first that he had been on season 9 of The Voice, didn't make it, but they asked him to come back. And so I remember like he was so focused. So when the blind audition process, when the blind auditions were going to start, one of the things that they did is they took all of our cell phones away. So they took them all away because they didn't want people to know, because there was 3 days of blind auditions, and each day, the day before each blind audition day, they will bring us onto the room and they would call out who was going to be singing the next day. And so I remember going into the room the day before the first day of blind audition and them calling the names, and my name wasn't called. And I was like, no, I do not want to spend another day in this hotel thinking about the blonde auditions that I'm getting ready to have. It's a very nerve-wracking, high-strung environment. But luckily, all of the contestants, we quickly became really good friends. So it really helped in the process of coping with being sequestered in a hotel. So I wasn't on the first day of auditions. I didn't have a cell phone. All I had was an iPod to be able to rehearse my songs with, but my roommate Brian was on the first day, so I was really happy for him. And so the next day, after the first day of blind auditions were done, the executive producer came over to the hotel and they called the names of the people. And by this time, my family was in town. So my family was in town at the hotel waiting for my opportunity to do my blind auditions. It was really cool. The Voice was amazing. They would bring all of your family members, a number of your family members. They would fly them out for free and to experience your blind audition process. But I remember the second day, they went through the names and my name was called. I was so excited. I remember I could barely sleep the night before my blind audition. I remember waking up the next day, and I mean, it's a very, very long day. You wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, you go to wardrobe, you go to hair, you go to makeup, you get everything done, but you may not sing until like 5 or 6 in the evening. Luckily, I didn't have to wait that long. I sang at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I remember I was with my vocal coach, and all of the other vocal coaches were like getting their contestants pumped up and getting them ready to go, and my vocal coach was playing Angry Birds while I was stressing out over there, getting ready for my blind audition. It's okay. I love Mama Bird so much. She was absolutely amazing. She had a lot of confidence in me, and she really helped in that process. So yeah, that's one of the things that The Voice does, is they give you a vocal coach to help you with your song arrangements and everything. And so I remember it was my time. I was on deck getting ready to go, and there's about 300 people in the audience, and then the judges are on their seats. They're turned away from you. And so what happens is, you walk up onto the stage to your point where your song starts. And I remember just hearing the dun, 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 dun. It might seem crazy what I'm about to. I remember like I blacked out in that moment, and I don't remember a lot. I remember vivid things. I remember like the feeling of being on stage and just thinking to myself, is this real? And then seeing my family in the corner and, wondering, are there actually people behind those chairs? And for me, they didn't turn until the very last moment. So I'm sitting here fighting for every single note. Absolutely, positively crazy. And, that whole process of just choosing my coach was so fun. You may have seen the video of me singing Jesus Loves Me. That was a completely spontaneous moment where where I told him that Jesus Loves Me was the first song that I had ever sung.
I was gonna ask you to sing it, but no pressure.
And then I sang Jesus Loves Me, and I didn't realize it was a moment or anything, but then I got off stage and everybody was like, what just happened? You just sang Jesus Loves Me in front of Pharrell. And I was like, oh, wow, I did. And I didn't even think that they were gonna air that moment, but they ultimately did, and it's become, one of my favorite moments in the whole show. And so that is the story of how I got on The Voice. If you like that Storytime video, make sure you like and subscribe to my page. We've got a lot of content like this coming your way and much more. Peace.